Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We are going to warm up our voices and our spirits as we join in this opening song, page 13, Yismechu Hashemayim. Yismechu Hashemayim, Yismechu Hashemayim, Yismechu Hashemayim, Betagel Haaretz. Yismechu Hashemayim, Yismechu Hashemayim, Yismechu Hashemayim, Betagel Haaretz. Yeram Hayam, Yeram Hayam, Yeram Hayam Umelo. 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 Yismechu Hashemayim, Yismechu Hashemayim, Betagel Haaretz. Yismechu Hashemayim, Yismechu Hashemayim, Hashemayim, Yismechu Hashemayim, Betagel Haaretz. Top of your song sheets. Ya'alo Sadai, Bechol Asher Bo, Ya'alo Sadai, ay, 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 Ya'alo Sadai, Bechol Asher Bo, Ya'alo Sadai, ay, 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 Asirani Kol Asiyat, Asirani Kol Asiyat, Asirani pleasure to bring all our two communities together and to welcome those from the wider community tonight for this mostly musical Shabbat, and our guest speaker who we will introduce in a little bit later in the service. I would like to invite Rabbi Sharon Henry up to join me as we will invite up two candle lighters. It's on.
Okay, so we'd like to invite Janie Cart and Mara Kaplan to the Bima to light Shabbat candles.
You'll find the blessing on page 2.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
We are also glad to have student Rabbi Jules Ilian joining us, and my dear colleague, Cantor Toby Glasser, along with all of our members of our Temple Sinai Band, who are incredible musicians and bring such ruach to our service on a monthly basis. As we join in this prayer that celebrates us being here together on this evening, Hine Matov, page 10.
Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. 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 How good it is, how sweet it is, to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is, to be together on this day. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is, how sweet it is, to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is, to be together on this day. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad.
We welcome in Shabbat with the words of Lecha Dodi on page 20 and 21. We will sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9 and rise to greet Shabbat when we get to the final verse. For now, we join together.
Lecha dodi lecha kala bene Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi lecha kala bene Shabbat nekavela.
יכול ותפאור אחד. השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. תשיבו תפארת ברית הילה, לך דודי לקראת כלה. שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה. שבת נקבלה, לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקרב נסוכה. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה, לך דודי לקראת כלה. שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה. שבת נקבלה, התעוררי, התעוררי, כי בעורף קומי אורי, 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 שדברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני המסגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה. שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה. שבת נקבלה. Page 24. מלכי השרת, מלכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. שלום עליכם מלכי השרת, מלכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. שלום עליכם מלכי השרת, מלכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברוכים השלום מלכי השלום, מלכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברוכים השלום מלכי השלום, מלכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברוכים השלום מלכי השלום, מלכי מלכי עליון ממלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ברכו לשלום מלכי השלום מלכי עליון ממלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ברכו לשלום מלכי השלום מלכי
עליכם מלכי השלום, מלכי עליון ממלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם השלום מלכי השלום, מלכי עליון ממלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם השלום מלכי השלום, מלכי
to Chatzi Kaddish, page 26. Yitgadal ve'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Galmal divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. Bechai dechol uv'yom echol. Uchai dechol beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uvizman kaddish. Amen. Yehi shmeira mevorach, me'al molal me'al maya, yitbarach, yitbarach ve'yishtabach, v'yitpahar v'yitromam v'yinaseh, ve'yitadar ve'yitaleh, ve'yitala shemei dekudsha.
Richu.
Leila min kol birchata v'shirata.
Tush bechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma. Amen.
We had the fortune of having this songwriter with us back in May, at the very beginning of May. Chava Morel joined us and led us in her beautiful setting of Baruch Hu, also known as Come. You can find the words on the middle of the first page of your song sheet. Please join in with us as we rise. Come all of you, come all of us, bless the one who blesses. Come all of you, come all of us, bless the one who blesses. Blessed is the blessed one. Blessed is the giver of blessing. Blessed in this moment. is the blessed one. Blessed is the giver of blessing. Blessed in this moment now and every now to come. Come all of you. Come all of us and bless the one who blesses. Come, come all of you. Come all of us and bless the one who blesses. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam. Va'ed, come all of you, come all of us, and bless the one who blesses. Come, come all of you, come all of us, and bless the one who blesses. We turn to our song sheet for these words of Ma'ariv Aravim, roll into dark. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Orei al halayla, kolel or mipnei choshev, kolel or mipnei choshev, v'choshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, halayla, kolel or mipnei choshev, kolel or mipnei choshev, v'choshech mipnei or. Page 32. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Avta. Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otzanu limad itam, Al ken Adonai Eloheinu, B'shochreinu u'reinu, Nasiach b'chukecha. on your song sheets. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy, and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you and we will know that you are one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. You may be seated as we join together in words of Ve'ahavta, page 36. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Page 40.
Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 da. Adonai, lo is like you.
The words of Hashki Venu can be found on your song sheet. Hashki Venu Adonai, Eloheinu Shalom, Ve'amideinu shomereinu, spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Ashivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Shalom, Ve'hamidenu shomereinu,
Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Shalom, Hamidenu shomereinu,
Page 44, Vishamru. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et Hashabbat, la'asos et Hashabbat le'onotam b'rizonam. Vishamru
b'nei Yisrael et Hashabbat, la'asot et Hashabbat לדורותם ולתורה.
בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. עיני ובני ישראל, אותי לעולם.
ושמרו בני
We rise in body or spirit as we turn to page 46 for our Amidah. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Svatai tiftach. Na 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 Ufi agid. Ufi agid tehilatecha. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Svatai tiftach. Na 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 Ufi agid tehilatecha. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Svatai tiftach. Na 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 Ufi agid tehilatecha. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Svatai tiftach. Na 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 Ufi agid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'imahot, u'mevii geula livnei v'neihem, le'ma'an shemo be'ahava, melech chozer u'moshiach u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'zerat Sahara, Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayei kol atarav lehoshia, morid hatal, mechakel chaim bechesed, mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim v'rofei cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishenei afar. Bichamocha ba'agivurot umido melach melech meimit umechayeh umatzmiach Yeshua v'nehemanata lachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kidoshim b'chol yom yihallelu selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. We take the next few moments for our own silent prayers, including the prayers of our heart. Please take your own time and you can be seated at your own pace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki Ata Melech Adon לכל השלום, כי אתה מלך אדון, לכל השלום. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם, וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל, בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים
Continue on page 259 with the prayer for the state of Israel. Sha'alu Shalom Yerushalayim, Yishlayu Ohavayich. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. We join together, O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel. Bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there.
Amen.
Now is the time in our service when we think of those in need of healing. Tonight we are thinking of Ellen Apple, Julie Arnheim, Peggy Boone, Alex Botkin, Jimmy Broff, Jerry Chesson, Chuck Davis, Eileen Davis, Joanne Mandel DeWitt, Amanda Goldstein, Daniel Harrison, Kate Can, Naum Kaplan, Al Camper, Eitan Klausner, Tony Linder, Sally Littman, Lois Michaels, Laura Marshak, Hal Mendelowitz, Ellen Newberg, Bud Roth, Charles Rosenblum, Cheryl Sachs Dowling, Rabbi Bert Schumann, Benjamin F. Siegel, Florence Silberger, Rabbi Jonathan Stein, David Wallach, Jonathan Wind, Kayla Wright, James J.H. Yee, Hinda Sarah Bat Hana Parel, Yeramatia Shulamit Bat Miriam Uva Baruch, Chava Gitel Bat Tobia, Shlomo David Ben Tova, we're also thinking of.
Dana Green, Tony Linder, Rosalind Richmond, Helene Kessler-Burke, Gary Kaplan, Dr. James Siegel, Maxine Oringer, Malka Bat Tamar, Itamar Ben Meir, Murray Reinwald, Russell Petro, Leona Green, Carl Molenberg, Ellen Maraskin, Eric Scott, Michaela Robbins, Alan LeBlanc, Robert Derenfeld.
If there's anyone who we have not named who you're thinking of this evening in need of healing of mind, body, or spirit, please feel welcome to say their name aloud as my eyes meet yours. For those names we shared aloud and those we hold in our heart, we continue, For those names we shared aloud and those we hold in our heart, we continue with the Misha Berach prayer, which can be found on page 253, our prayer for healing.
Misha Berach Avotzenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotzenu. May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us sing Amen. Misheberach imotzenu mekor habracha lavotzenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. We always like to take a moment to share the good things that are happening in our lives, all of our simchas. So I will come around now, and if you have something to share, we would love to hear what is happening.
I finally got my act together and decided to retire. And
Mazel tov.
I've been retired since Tuesday.
Choir rehearsals start Wednesday, and I'm ready for you.
And Carol put in a lot of work over the past week, so thank you. Toda rabah.
I got old on Wednesday.
You got it wiser. You got it.
My daughter Morgan turned 36 on the 31st.
Well, that was a good number. This is the quietest our congregation has been. Usually it takes a long time to get around.
Our daughter Shoshana is leaving DC and moving to New York so she can go get her Master's of Public Health at Columbia University.
Mazel tov. Did I miss somebody over here? Right. All right, I'm going to come up this way. Ooh. Feedback.
I just want to say that the Fellman family sends regards to everybody from Vermont, where they are enjoying a couple of weeks and a little downtime.
Great. We're now going to join in a song of joy to celebrate everything that is good that is happening. Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevei, ve'imru
עושה שלום בקרובם, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו
It is our pleasure to have the hosting responsibilities for tonight for this lovely weekend of many programs, which we will tell you more about a little bit later. But it is my pleasure to welcome Rabbi Josh Fagelson, the CEO and president of the Institute for Jewish Spirituality, to share some wonderful words with us.
Set up here. Here we go. Can you all hear me? Is that good? All right. Shabbat shalom. And thank you so much for the warm welcome to Pittsburgh. This is actually my first time in Pittsburgh, amazingly. And so I'm just so grateful to be here. I'm grateful to my hosts, to Bill Klingensmith and Julie Newman, who Bill is a member of the board of directors at IJS, the Institute for Jewish Spirituality, and that's kind of the seed that planted this Shabbat together. So, and I'm grateful to both congregations for hosting me over this weekend, and looking forward to a chance to share some words of Torah with you tonight, and hopefully over the rest of the weekend too, Saturday and Sunday. I'll say a word about what the Institute for Jewish Spirituality is, because Bill reminded me that was an important part of my job here. The Institute for Jewish Spirituality is a 25-year-old organization. We were founded in 1999. And if you've heard of the phenomenon of Boo Jews, people who were born into Jewish communities and then found a lot of meaning in Buddhist practice. Oftentimes, they weren't finding what they were looking for necessarily in Jewish life, and they found it in Zen or in yoga or in other forms of Asian practices, and that was great. And that's wonderful that it worked for them, but the people who founded our organization by the late 1990s were looking around and saying, it's kind of amazing when you look at who many of the leading teachers of Buddhism in America are, and they're people with last names like Salzburg and Goldstein and Borstein, people who had grown up Jewish, and that's wonderful. But wouldn't it be amazing if we could offer some of what they were looking for in our own tradition, because we have it in our own tradition. And that's really what we've done for the last 25 years. And today you can go onto our website and find all sorts of ways that you can get involved and participate yourself. I'm pleased that both rabbis of both of these congregations are alumni of our clergy leadership program. So there are all sorts of ways to get involved. I left a few brochures outside on the table out there. You can see all of our stuff that's coming up this year, and I encourage you afterwards at the ONEG, if you want to find out more, you can talk to Bill, you can talk to me, you can talk to lots of people. So jewishspirituality.org, that's the plug. Okay. I want to say that in addition to my job, I live in Skokie, Illinois, and I'm married to my wife, Natalie Blitt. We've been married since, 23 years now. And we've been blessed with 3 sons. And I come from a family of 3 boys. And sometimes I find today, even still, with my brothers on our brothers WhatsApp group, I sometimes think to myself, thank God for sports and for movies. Because if we didn't have sports or movies, I sometimes don't know how men would communicate with each other. Right? You speak in movie lines and stuff. And in our family, the movies, everybody knows what I'm talking about. That's right. And I sometimes, I often reflect on one of the indispensable film series in our family's life, like I would think many, is Star Wars. And I want to reflect for a minute. I think some of you may have heard that the title for tonight had to do with Darth Vader and what we can learn from him, and that's what I want to talk about. So what is it that makes Star Wars so fascinating for so many people? And yes, there's the Force, and there are lightsabers, and there are spaceships and things that blow up. But all the special effects in the world can't make up for lack of a story. And Star Wars has a great story. The story of how Darth Vader becomes a bad guy and how he ultimately does tshuva. He repents. He returns with his dying act. We are about to enter the month of Av on the Jewish calendar next week. And after Av comes Elul, and after Elul comes Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. So this is actually the very beginning of our journey of preparation for tshuva, doing the heart work, the spiritual work of returning. And believe it or not, I think the character of Darth Vader offers us some profound lessons on how to do that. And tonight I want to explore 3 of those lessons. So the first lesson is to move from focusing on the fear of losing what we have to instead embracing what's deeply, truly present all the time. If my sons were here, they would remind me that Darth Vader is led to the dark side of the Force by his deep fear of loss. Confronted with the knowledge that the people he loves most in his life, his mother and his wife, will die, he becomes consumed with a fear of losing them. That leads him to try to hold on tighter. In order to know this, you have to watch the prequels. You can't just have watched episodes 4, 5, and 6. So I'm giving a little away here, okay? But anyway, that's how it happens. So that leads him to try to hold on tighter and tighter. And it leads his heart to constriction. As Yoda, not so subtly channeling the Buddha, tells him, I'm not going to do it in the Yoda voice, fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. Just last week, we commemorated on the Jewish calendar the 17th of Tammuz, the date on which Moses broke the first set of the stone tablets on which were written the 10 Commandments. You remember the story. With Moses gone for 40 days on Mount Sinai, the Torah tells us that the people became fearful. Zem Moshe ha'ish asher ha'elanu mimitzrayim lo yadanu mehayalo. This man Moses who brought us up out of Egypt, we don't know what's happened to him. Their fear of absence leads them to hold on tighter. We can feel their hearts tightening up. And what do? They press themselves on Aaron to make something they can see and touch. Kum aseh lanu Elohim. Make us a god. And we know how that story ends, just as Yoda predicted, with anger, hate, and suffering. But it also leads to a realization on the part of the Holy One. We human beings naturally fear loss and absence. And then our hearts can all too easily close up. The Israelites feared the absence of Moses. through whom they related to the divine. So God makes a concession. Instead of a golden calf, the people will build a mishkan, a tabernacle. That will be the way they can focus not on the fear of loss, but on the embrace of presence. Ve'asu li migdash v'shachanti betocham. By making the holy dwelling place, each of us can move our hearts, can soften them, can embrace the presence that is here. So the first lesson of tshuva that Darth Vader and Moses, frankly, teach us is to focus on presence rather than absence. Notice what's here. Notice what's present in our bodies, in our minds, in our emotions. Notice who's present in the room, not just who's missing. If we pay close enough attention, we might even notice or sense the presence of people and things we think of as absent. Ancestors, loved ones, God. They're all here if we can open our hearts to sense them. The second lesson is a lesson about relationships. Darth Vader is a lonely character much of his life. To put it gently, he doesn't have a lot of friends. We don't see him socializing, sharing a meal with others, joining the men's club. As a side note, there are some incredibly funny YouTube videos out there imagining Darth Vader in these kinds of situations, including, I think, one that takes place in like a suburban Pittsburgh supermarket. Anyway, just Google it. Okay. Yet what ultimately softens his heart and leads him back to connection is a relationship with the son he didn't know he had. Spoiler alert, this is Luke Skywalker. Sorry, if anybody hasn't seen it. All right. Setting aside for a moment that he fights a lightsaber duel with Luke and chops off his hand, another spoiler, it's clear that from the moment he learns that he has a son, something begins to soften inside Darth Vader. It's a gradual process, but ultimately it manifests in Darth Vader sacrificing himself in order to save his son. Through their relationship, Vader's heart becomes unhardened, softer, and that allows it to break open in a supremely life-giving way. He was always capable of this, but he could only really do it by being in relationship with another person. The Midrash relates a beautiful story that teaches a similar lesson. The Israelites were so broken down from centuries of hard labor and oppression, and from Pharaoh's decrees to murder Jewish children, that families stopped functioning. Their hearts, understandably, became stopped up. They became disconnected. Husbands separated from their wives, couples couldn't and wouldn't be intimate anymore. Children, and with them the future of the Jewish people, stopped being born. But then the women realized what was happening. They found a way to open up their hearts and reconnect with their husbands. They would take mirrors in hand and invite their partners to look into those mirrors together, to see the reality that they were not alone, that they in fact lived in loving relationships despite all the suffering that the world inflicted. And in the process, the men's hearts were softened. The couple's love was renewed and procreation happened again. This path of tshuva, then, is the path of relationships. When we spend time with friends and family, when we open our hearts to care for them and allow them to care for us, we keep our hearts soft and open. This is the second path. Our third and final path of tshuva today is the path of breath. What is Darth Vader most famous for? His breathing, which really isn't his own. It shouldn't be lost on us that Darth Vader, the paradigm of an isolated, disconnected person, lacks the capacity for breath. He is so deeply injured and wounded, not only physically, of course, but spiritually as well, that he can't even breathe on his own, but instead has to be breathed for by a machine. Yet at the very end of his life, after his heart has become softened and he gives himself up to save Luke, what does Vader do? He asks his son to take off his mask, and he takes his last breaths on his own. Our breath if it's available to us, is the path to a soft heart that doesn't depend on anything else. It's the path we're most in control of, if we're blessed with that. I'm fond of saying that mindfulness meditation is to mindfulness practices as soccer is to sports. The reason soccer is the most popular sport in the world is because it takes virtually nothing to play. You just need a ball and some space. No fancy equipment required. Meditation is the same. All you need is a pair of lungs. When we bring awareness to our breath, we immediately start to soften our hearts. I actually want to invite you to try this for a second. I want to invite you to try it. So I'll just invite you, sit up a little straighter than you've been sitting, maybe. Right? You can put both feet on the floor. That often helps. And you can close your eyes if you want, or keep them open, but just soften your gaze and just take a good deep breath through your nose if you can, and out through your mouth. And just try that again. And one more time. See if you notice some expansiveness that begins to happen. When I do that, I can feel my heart softening up. I feel a feeling of return and reconnection, even after just a few seconds. It's really an amazing gift. You can keep your eyes closed if you want, but I'm going to go on. Towards the beginning of the Exodus story, you'll recall that Moses comes to the Israelites to tell them God's intention to liberate them from Egypt, to bring them to their homeland. This is it, the moment they've been waiting for centuries. We would expect a giant huzzah from the crowd. But what does the Torah tell us? When Moses told the Israelites, they would not listen to him. And why? Mikotze ruach ume'avodah kasha. Because their spirit, more literally their breath, their ruach, was constricted from being beaten down through hard labor. Rashi offers an amazing comment on this passage. He says, when a person is in a state of constriction, their breathing comes in short gasps. They cannot draw long breaths. We've all felt this at moments of pain, suffering, loss. It's hard to breathe. Our chests are constricted and our hearts become brittle and hard. But it also works in the other direction. When we bring awareness and intention to our breath, making it more expansive, we can open our chests and soften our hearts. Darth Vader lives most of his life unable to breathe, and his heart is hard as a result. Deep breaths and soft hearts go hand in hand, and they are an essential part of the tshuva process. So we've talked about 3 lessons of tshuva from the story of Darth Vader, focusing on presence more than absence, investing in relationships, and working on our breathing. All of this is the work of the heart, avodah shebalev in Hebrew. And as we conclude, I want to say something about why I think this heart work is so important right now. On one level, of course, this is a route to a happier life. None of us wants to be Darth Vader, I hope. While I could go for the booming James Earl Jones voice and the cape, though I've got a cape, I think I'd be pretty miserable with a life like his, and I imagine you agree. But this isn't just an issue of personal happiness. No, I think the stakes are much higher. I don't have to tell you that we live in a time of so much isolation, so much disconnection, so much polarization and dehumanization. I think our present and our future as Jews, as Americans, as human beings, depends on doing the heart work that allows us to be present, to be connected, to be resilient. 2 centuries ago, Alexis de Tocqueville wrote about the habits of the heart necessary for this multicultural democracy to function. Today, just as much or even more so than back then, we need to practice those habits of the heart, that avodah shebalev, for ourselves, for our communities, our country, and our world. At a moment when so many changes are happening so rapidly in our society, when we feel like there is so much to fear, now more than ever is a time for the spiritual work of the heart. May we support one another in that work. Shabbat shalom, and may the force be with you.
Shabbat shalom, and thank you so much, Rabbi Fagelson. You will have the opportunity to join in with the rabbi for more moments of learning, starting with tomorrow evening at 6:30 in the Biblical Gardens at Rodef Shalom, sponsored by the Tiferet Project. You can speak with Cantor Julie Newman if you want more information for sips and spices, which will include cocktails and Havdalah and the ability to make your own spice jar, along with learning with Rabbi Fagelson tomorrow. Hopefully the weather will will follow our desire to be in the garden. If not, then we have a lovely plan B within the building. And then on Sunday morning, our respective women of Rodef Shalom and women of Temple Sinai, along with our respective brotherhoods, are sponsoring a breakfast at, I believe at 10 in the morning. I don't know if the RSVPs have closed for that, but you can find all the information on our website. You'll find all other programming, hopefully, on this announcements handout that you received when you came in. There are many things that are happening this week and throughout this month, including the Pirates Jewish Heritage Night at the end of the month. Get your tickets by August 13th. It's always a great game to be a part of.
Just one extra thing, there is a communal Tisha B'Av observance on Monday the 12th of August, but we are holding a concert, a musical presentation on Tuesday, August 13th at 7 p.m. about the liturgy and the music of the Lamentations of Jeremiah. There are some beautiful musical settings. We're going to have a professional quintet. Please join us 7 p.m. August 13th at Rodef Shalom Congregation. Thank you.
I want to thank all of our members of our band for your beautiful music tonight. And we will join together as we move toward the conclusion of our service with, yes, yeah. Is it working now? Should be.
I feel like I keep getting tricked here.
Looks
I
like
wanted
it,
to-
looks like it's off. There we go.
Okay, I just want to introduce and thank our rabbinic intern who's been with us at Rodef Shalom this is the end of 7 weeks, and she's leaving to go back to school on Monday. And so our student rabbi, Jules Ilian, has just been a pleasure to work with. And if you haven't had an opportunity to meet her, you still have tonight and tomorrow. And I hope that you do say hello and welcome her to Pittsburgh and thank her for all that she's done for us.
We turn toward the conclusion of our service with Aleinu, beginning on page 282, as we rise in body or spirit. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתקן ולעליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כיועי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 287. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Kaddish is on page 294. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us. We are remembering Alan Brodsky, Lou Averbach, Elaine Leskold, and Rabbi Fred Pomerantz. We're also observing the yahrzeits of Ira Altshuler, Ira Askin, Leonard Barmack, Ronald Fibus, Rose Green, Lester Harrop, Miriam Hirschman, Herman Jonas, Ray Labovitz, Charlotte Levy, Milton Lieberman, William G. Schuman, Alec Shimkin, Sarah J. Singer, Dr. Frederick H. Smith.
We think of those recently departed: Jay Klein, Doris Kennedy, Elaine Leskold, Alan Levinson, Cherry Mock, Albie Romanoff, Joel Kaufman, Irene Roslyn Polnick, and those whose time of yahrzeit has come: Anne Allen, Zola Alpert, Bess Baker, Earl Barman, M.A. Baskind, Corinne Blackman, Lillian Berendt, Bernice Brenner, Joseph Ephraim Doomer, Rita Entrekin, Rosalind Eskovitz, Morris Foster, Jacob Freed, Martin Freed, Teresa Freed, Leo Gale, Vivian Gale, Richard Hanna, Eleonora Heller, Morton Itzkovitz, Maurice Katz, Anne Klein, Bob Korenstein, Joseph Kosis, Harry Krieger, Minna Millinson, Salomon Mizrahi, Francis Mullins, Ruth Mulfelder, Marcia Esmin Raphael, Charles Reisenstein, Edmund Rosenberg, Ben Sablowski, Marcus Saphir, Richard J. Samble, Philip Schwartz, Ruth Schwartz, Sarah Shrinsky, Ann Skigan, Fred Sonnenberg, Ethan Stang, Joan Price Tanzer, Marvin Tanzer, Renee Manch Taylor, L. Isaac Torbin, Yetta Wedner, Anna Weschler, Ruth Weschler, Lily Zuckerman. If you are remembering anyone tonight we have not yet mentioned for Shivash Loshim Shanari Art Site, please feel free to share their name at this time. We join together with Kaddish Yatom, page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba, be'alma divrach hirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'gala v'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'alam w'amei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, Vitadar, Vitale, Vitalal, Shemei de Kudisha, Berichu, Le'ela, Minkol, Birchata, Vishirata, Tushbechata, Venechemata, Damiram, Be'alma, V'imru, Amen. Yehesh Lama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Osei Shalom Bimromav, Huya Asei Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to Israel, and to all the world, to which we say, Amen. Amen. We join in our closing song, followed by, we will join together for our Kiddush and our Oneg, immediately following this, right through the doors behind you. But for now, we conclude with Eile Chamdali B, page 11. Eile Chamdali B, 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 Eile Chamdali B. Santa Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.